Reading may seem easy and automatic for people who master it without difficulty. However, reading is a complex and challenging task for our brains, so we shouldn't be surprised that so many kids struggle with it. In fact, about 15 to 20% of the U.S. population has a specific reading disability called dyslexia, which is a major cause of reading failure in schools. Dealing with this learning challenge can lead to frustration and self-doubt, especially when it goes undiagnosed for a long time. The good news is that dyslexia can be identified early, and kids who have it can be taught to become successful readers. Research has shown that dyslexia occurs because of subtle problems in information processing, especially in the language regions of the brain. For this reason, reading doesn't become automatic and remains slow and labored. When a child struggles with these beginning steps in reading, comprehension is bound to suffer and frustration is likely to follow. The common assumption about dyslexia is that letters or words appear reversed. This type of problem can be part of dyslexia, where reversals are very common among kids up until 1st and 2nd grade, not just kids with dyslexia. The major problem for kids with dyslexia is in phonics and rapid word recognition. Dyslexia is usually diagnosed during elementary school. In some cases, it doesn't become apparent until a child is older and is expected to read and comprehend longer and more complex material. Continuing problems with advanced reading and spelling may be signs that a child has dyslexia. In preschool and elementary school kids, some signs of dyslexia include difficulty with learning to talk, pronouncing longer words, learning the alphabet sequence, days of the week, colors, shapes, and numbers, and learning to read and write their name. Dyslexia runs in families. Kids of parents with a history of reading struggles are likely to have problems. Children who struggle with learning to talk as preschoolers are also at a high risk for dyslexia. The reading progress of kids with either of these factors should be closely monitored. Fortunately, with the proper assistance and help, most kids with dyslexia are able to learn to read and develop strategies that allow them to stay in the regular classroom. They usually work with a specially trained teacher or a reading specialist to learn how to read and spell and manage their condition. Your child's teacher may recommend an academic therapist who is trained to work with kids with dyslexia. In the United States, federal laws entitle kids with dyslexia to special help in public schools, such as specialized instruction, extra time for tests or homework, or help with taking notes. Parents of kids who are diagnosed with dyslexia should discuss these laws and accommodations with school personnel. Dyslexia can lead to a number of problems, such as difficulty learning, social problems, and problems as adults. Reading is a skill basic to most other school subjects. A child who has dyslexia is at a disadvantage in most classes and may have trouble keeping up with their peers. When left untreated, dyslexia may lead to low self-esteem, behavior problems, anxiety, aggression, and withdrawal from friends, parents, and teachers. The inability to read and comprehend can prevent a child from reaching their potential as the child grows up. This can have long-term educational, social, and economic consequences. Children who have dyslexia are at an increased risk for attention deficit disorder. ADD can cause difficulty sustaining attention, hyperactivity, and impulsive behavior, which can make dyslexia harder to treat. Teachers need to have an understanding of the problems that a dyslexic child may have within the classroom. Hopefully, with this knowledge, a great deal of misunderstanding of a child's behavior can be prevented. In a positive and encouraging environment, a dyslexic child will experience the feelings of success and self-value. The following items should provide useful guidelines for teachers. When writing on the chalkboard, ensure that it is well spaced. Seat the child fairly near the class teacher so that the teacher is available to help if necessary. More time should be allocated for completion of work because of the extra time a dyslexic child needs for reading, planning, rewriting, and proofreading their work. By the end of a school day, a dyslexic child is generally more tired than his peers because everything requires more thought and tasks take longer. More errors are likely to be made. Only give homework that will be a real benefit to the child. Even with appropriate intervention, kids with dyslexia may find school a struggle. It's important to support your child's efforts by encouraging and assisting in reading at home. Also, try to give your child opportunities to build confidence and have success in other areas, such as sports, hobbies, art, and drama. Dyslexia doesn't have to be a hurdle to success. It doesn't mean that you or your child's teachers should lower your expectations for the child. Artists, athletes, scientists, and politicians all have been able to achieve great things despite dyslexia.